We talked about this idea that light is a wave. So when light goes through an aperture in the front of a camera, there's a certain amount of diffraction. And that diffraction limits what's called the resolution of an optical device. And I'll show you what resolution means. Right now, if you look at this flashlight, how many points of light do you see? It looks like one. But in fact, if we do a close-up, if we take a close-up view of this flashlight and zoom in, you can see that in fact there are two small lights inside here. But if it's zoomed out, you're not able to tell that. If you're zoomed out, it just looks like one. We lose the ability to resolve those 2 points of light. And the resolution of an optical instrument is going to depend upon the wavelength of light that it's imaging and the diameter of the optical system. And these details are given in Chapter 19. And that's one of the limitations on making good, crisp images, is the size of the opening of an optical system. And when you have tiny lenses, tiny apertures in cameras, you can only get images that are so good because of the size of the opening. If you have a bigger opening, you can make an image that has better resolution. And so a little tiny camera can only make an image that's so good. And it's because of the wave nature of light. But now let's look at another aspect of light. You know that white light is made up of different colors. And we've got 3 different colors here. We have the red, and we have the green, and we have the blue. When the red and the green and blue light hit a prism, they will bend. But the index of refraction of this prism varies with the wavelength. It varies with the frequency. And there's a graph in Chapter 19 that shows this variation. And it turns out the index of refraction is higher for the blue light than it is for the red light. It's higher for blue than it is for red. So here's a question for you. When the light goes through the prism, which color of light bends more, the blue or the red? I'll give you some choices. Well, if the index of refraction is higher, that means that we're going to have more bending. And so if I take this light and I put it through a prism, the blue light is going to bend more. But we're going to show that not by bending these 3 colors of light. We're going to show that by bending white light. And if I bend a beam of white light, what happens is this. The blue light bends by more than the red. And so I end up having a spectrum of different colors appear. And this is fundamentally how a rainbow appears. And in fact, the electromagnetic spectrum goes beyond the range that you can see here. This goes from blue to red, but it goes beyond the blue into the ultraviolet. It goes beyond the red into the infrared. That's something we'll talk about later in the book when we come back to look at the electromagnetic spectrum one more time.